Hello children, we are on second part, that is methods of separation of lesson 8, class 4. There are several methods of separating soluble and insoluble substance. The type of method used depends on whether the impurity is insoluble or insoluble. It depends on the variety, whether it is a soluble one or insoluble one. Now the first, soluble substances, or we can say soluble impurities also we can take out with the process of evaporation. Evaporation is a process by which soluble substance can be separated out from a solution. From a solution, we can take out the soluble substances. It's a process by which soluble substance can be separated out. We can separate it out. This process involves heating of a solution in order to evaporate the solvent completely so that the soluble solid substance are left behind. So that the soluble substance will be left behind. The rate of evaporation increases with temperature. With the temperature, the evaporation will increase. Okay. You can see the process: cloud, sun, heat from the sun, sea water, and it is evaporating. The water is evaporating. For example, if salt water is heated, the water evaporates completely, leaving behind only salt crystals. So if we evaporate the salty water, you will see the water will evaporate, leaving behind the salt crystals. By this method, salt is obtained from seawater. By this method only we obtain salt from seawater. Coming to insoluble substance, few insoluble substances are also there which we need to be separated. Now first process is filtration. It is a process of removing insoluble substance from a liquid using a filter paper or a muslin cloth. Muslin is a fine cloth. Filter paper is also available in the market. The paper with the small pores are there. This process can be used to separate sand from water. This process we can use to separate sand from water. This is the activity. You can see this is a cone shaped filter paper or muslin cloth, whatever. Mixture of sand and water. This is the stand. This is the pure water coming. This is the funnel. You can see. Take a filter paper, fold it to form a cone. Fit the cone in a glass funnel. You will fit it. Pour the sandy water carefully into the cone. The sandy water you will pour it. Insoluble substance like sand remain on the filter paper. It will remain in the filter paper because the size of a sand grain is bigger than the holes on the filter paper. The size of the grains of this paper is very smaller, and it will take the sand grains can be absorbed over there. The sand grains will remain over there and water will pass through it. Sand grain is bigger than the holes in the filter paper. The holes in the filter paper are very small, but sand grain is bigger than. So the clean water will collect in the beaker kept in the funnel. All the impurities will stay in the funnel and the pure water will come to the glass. Okay. Now coming to sedimentation and decantation. What is sedimentation? Liquid containing insoluble substance is left undisturbed for some time. If you keep, suppose, a glass of water you are taking and mixing some insoluble substance and leaving it to stay. One more thing I want to say over here. If you are separating this, in this process germs cannot get killed. Germs will never be killed in this process. Because we are separating. This is a mixture of a solution and we are separating it. But germs cannot be killed in this process. Now coming to sedimentation. Sedimentation, liquid containing insoluble substance is left undisturbed for some time. The heavier particles will settle down at the bottom and this process is known as sedimentation. So this process we call it as a sedimentation. All the sediments will come down and that insoluble particles which have settled down, we call it as what? Sediments. That particular insoluble particles which settle down, that is sediments. Please underline, in this method the liquid containing insoluble substance is left undisturbed for some time. The heavier particles settle down at the bottom. This process we call it as sedimentation. And the next is decantation. Sedimentation is followed by decantation. First sedimentation occurs, then comes decantation. The clear water above the sediment is slowly poured into another vessel without disturbing the sediment. Without disturbing, we take it out into another vessel. That process we call it as a decantation. Okay. You can try this activity in your home. Take a glass and pour a mixture of soil and water into it, leave the glass undisturbed for an hour, you will see the soil or particles has settled down. Sedimentation makes the insoluble particles settle at the bottom. Please underline, this line is very important. The glass used in the above activity has insoluble impurities settled down at the bottom and the clear water will be above. Now pick a glass and gently pour it. So that process is known as decantation. This is sedimentation process, and this pouring, that pure water pouring to another glass, this process we call it as a decantation. I hope it is clear to you. Now coming to the let's do. Insoluble substance stone chalk, soluble substance sugar salt, immiscible liquid mustard oil diesel, miscible liquid milk and juice. This two I have written from the book. You can write any two of your choice, seeing insoluble substance, any two insoluble substance. You can write any two soluble substance also, you can write immiscible liquid also any two, or miscible liquid also any two of your choice. You can write, see from the book, and you can write any two of your choice. Thank you.